Welcome to the 98% Arm Wrestling Podcast. I'm Ryan Grondin. I'll be co-hosting tonight with the Professor David Schell, Josh Berger, and the Nightmare Dan Schwartz. And tonight we'll be interviewing Roger Bailey Learned and Jody Williams, who have an upcoming match, and we'll try to make it as awkward as possible and get these guys to give their predictions on their own match face to face. We'll see what happens.
I will say this. First of all, Roger, what's up, man?
What's up, Jody?
Long time no see. I will say this. This is probably the most opposite match there is. You have a guy who's very, very powerful on the inside. You know, you have a guy who's phenomenal on the outside. You know, it's hook versus top roll. It's speed versus power. Northeast versus Northwest. Call it what you want. You know, but I've always said that Roger and myself are on this collision course, right? And when I finally met Roger in person back in Waxahachie, you know, and awesome guy, by the way, lovely wife.
He's all right.
And, you know, we got to pull around during the after pulls after the weirdo camera guy. Oh, I'm sorry. No, the ROTN. And we went back to that bar, that sports bar, and we were pulling around and stuff. And I'm thinking, man, one of these days we're going to have to lock up on the table. And I remember saying that. Meanwhile, once that weekend came and gone, you know, I'm doing my thing, winning and going up the ladder. He's doing the exact same thing on his end of the country. And it's like, it's all coming like this, you know what I mean? And I thought had I won Worlds, it would have made that match more exclusive, more important. But, you know, I guess I didn't hold up my end of the bargain by taking second. But that's all right, though. That's okay. It's okay. But
still good. Still good.
Yeah. Thank you. But I think when the polls came out, you know, I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, I guess I know I'm getting my ass kicked, you know,
Right.
by on October 23rd. But yeah, I like that. I like the match a lot. I always said that, and I had it, you know, a saying on my one of my YouTube shows, and I said, you know what, the loser of this match is not going to lose any ground, but the winner will go up that much more. That's my honest opinion.
Yeah, that's what's great about it.
I'd like to get Roger's little bit of insight, and then let all of us give our actual round predictions, win loss, and then let you guys give your predictions, like how many rounds and win or loss.
All right.
You up for that?
I guess I'm first then.
Yeah. No, well, a little bit of insight first then.
Honestly, him being a top roller and my left, it's not just hooking, but that's what my go-to is for the most part. So him having a strong hand, strong cup. I watch all of his videos, everyday training videos. So I'm watching everything he's doing to critique his training for me. So I'm hoping if I can get past his top pressure, his top roll, if I can hold on, I think I have a good chance. So I'm going to give him the first round, and I'm gonna adjust myself, and I'm gonna get the overall victory, in my opinion. That's how I think it is.
I wouldn't expect anything less. If it's my turn, I'll say this, and it's just like the NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball playoffs, hockey. It's the odd number that is the most important. First, third, fifth, whatever. Because, you know, again, I have a decent hook left. You know, I don't really display it because I never have to really get into it. But there are films of me out there getting into, I have a lock here on the left where, and you can ask Greg Mayfield about that, but there is a lock that I do have, and I just never, you know, get to that point a lot. And truth be told, you know, I'm talking to my, you know, teammates and stuff, and they're helping me prepare for this match versus Roger, and all I hear is that, hey, don't go into his hook. He's too, you know, he's too powerful there. And I'm thinking, okay, I get what you're saying. You're looking out for me. Totally get that. But when we train hook, why the fuck would I train hook and then not use it? That's like a waste of time, you know? I've always said this, and let me get you guys' opinion, all you guys. I thought, you know, or I think when you go into a super match, how many of you guys like baseball?
Oh, played it all my life, man.
Right. So I look at it as like we're a pitcher, okay? You got your fastball, right? And which is your best move, right?
Gotta have a
And
second
I
pitch.
give
You can't unless you're closing. You gotta have a
right
second pitch.
about exactly. So here, check this out. So let's just say I give Roger my fastball, right? And he stopped it. I look at that as like, okay, I think my fastball, he hits a home run. Or if I pin him, my fastball's a strikeout, right? Now, if he
Right.
stops it,
He ain't,
then I better have
he
a
ain't getting the
curveball.
straight ball the rest of the night.
Right. I better have a changeup, curveball.
Yeah.
I better have some more tools in the shed for these super matches. The
Yeah.
good thing about this is that whatever I throw at him, I can make the adjustment, just like Roger said, Once we get that first match out the way, he'll make the adjustment. It's all about making adjustments. That's why it's a chess
Yeah.
match,
Yep.
So I'm really excited about that. But I think the winner of this match is whoever throws that first curveball and catch their opponent off guard.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to go down.
Excellent. Well, let me chime in next for mine because you gave me a little something to think about with yours. Because I had the same thing with that Roger said. Basically, I was thinking like you might sneak it in there the first one, and then he's going to adjust. He's going to figure where you went, and he's going to fix it, and he's going to adjust for the next three. But now that you've been working inside, it might be a little different. It might come into a war of attrition. So I'm going to go from what I was said at first with a 3-1 Roger, where he just figures you out, to a 3-2 Roger, where you have a little more of a battle inside, and Roger has to actually work through you a little bit. So that's interesting. I'm glad to hear you're working inside though, Jody. I thought you were a one trick pony, but that you have that number 2 pitch, man, that's cool.
No, because like I said before, and I think the frustrating part about this whole thing is that, again, I go back to like, we train everything as arm wrestlers. We train, hook, we train top roll, whether it be super nation, pro nation, strap work. We train all that kind of stuff. Why train that and then not use it when it counts?
Yeah.
There's this thing I like to go by, like, look stupid in practice so you don't look stupid in a tournament or super.
I love that.
Whatever. So you want to try all these things and make sure that, you want to try that stuff first and make sure it's all, you got your eyes down my hook. No, I'll be the first to admit that, doesn't mean I don't have one. I just don't get a chance to use it as much, So I'm looking forward to it because I know Roger likes his comfort zone. He said it's his hook. He said he can top roll too, but his bread and butter is his hook. I would love to test that out just to see where it goes. But when I have people on my shoulder telling me something different, and I know they're looking out for me, it's like, hey, maybe I might, surprise Roger and go up 1-0, and then I might go into a hook with him and see where it goes. But we don't know until we get there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Absolutely.
That's the beauty of a super match. You have a couple rounds to figure it out, unlike in a tournament. So I'm curious to see this. It'll be good.
Exactly.
What gave us the idea for this is Roger's match with David Hobbs. We had them both on and had them give their predictions. It was kind of awkward. And I was like, we should just do this all the time to people. Get both of them on and predict their match face to face,
Yeah.
I got to say, my prediction was pretty accurate on the David Hobbs one.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. And I watched that, match over and over, Roger. So tell me from your standpoint, when you pull, and you know more because you actually were in the match, whereas everybody else was kind of watching it. So when you pulled David, did he make any adjustments, or did he kind of just go, okay, I'm gonna do the same thing, only harder, or I'm gonna do the same thing, only faster? Did he make any adjustments, or were you able to kind of go, okay, no matter where he went, I felt like you had more control?
Same style, but he did go faster off the go in certain matches where he got what he needed. But there was one match he brought me too far over where I couldn't adjust and get it back over, and that was his one win on the right. But he had the same style. It was like it was like a high top roll, but his whole body would drift with it, like maybe a high hook instead of a high top roll or a top roll.
Do you think you would drift between the hook and top roll to figure out where his hand could top yours? Maybe it was just that little adjustment you kept trying. Maybe
it was his leverage that I couldn't get around,
right.
So I had to grip lower, and I had to pretty much cup in or stay high with my hand to get my shoulder with it.
He already wants a rematch.
Yeah, he does. He's excited about that.
Now, was that match for $2,000? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I do not have $2,000 to put that on. So.
No, that was all promotion. I didn't. Nothing. It was free.
Must be nice. These guys that just run around putting $2-3 grand on matches.
Yeah, I don't have it
Jesus.
like that.
I don't have the money or the skill.
I don't
Might
have
as
that
well
kind of
just
money.
might as well
Yeah,
just give it
yeah.
to them.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I want to hear some more predictions from the other guys, though. We haven't heard Ryan's prediction yet. We haven't heard Dan or
I'm the
Dave.
host. I have to
What
be
do y'all
neutral.
think? Oh, you have to be neutral. Why?
I don't have to.
I know you just want.
I just want to say Daniel will have the most freshest opinion on my left because he
Yeah,
pulled
because
me.
That's
he
right.
got, he got
Oh, this
overalls
weekend.
over me. So I gotta say his left is uncannily strong. And when you think you may have something, you don't. So I'm gonna say Jody's probably gonna get the first one in on him for an experimental purposes. For I can see you both trying to play with fire and Jody coming out on top, but then I say Roger is going to take home the win ultimately because I just think his adjustments are on a different level.
Well, hold on. Part of the problem with all of us predicting is we all live near Roger and we've all pulled him. So that's really like these are all biased opinions.
I know exactly what that hook feels like, and I'm not going outside with it because that's
right. But none of us, I don't think, have pulled Jody. None of us have pulled Jody, so it's kind of a biased opinion.
However, I did watch a lot of matches of Jody today, just for tonight, and I was impressed with the explosive speed, and that's why I'm saying there might be a second pin from Jody. He might have something else in the tank, but I do think that the first one will go to Jody, but the rest will go to Rogers. Maybe one more to Jody down the road. I don't know.
I like Jody's training videos. I think they're very informative.
Definitely informative.
Some people like to crack on me about that, and the latest one I did where I had the dumbbell handle that you put the Olympic plates on, and I sat there and threw a fat grip on the middle handle, and I had some bands tied to my bench press apparatus. So the further you go, the more it wants to pull back from you. But now it's doing this little shaking thing, so I have to really control it and stabilize it for me to kind of cup this way. Yeah, you can cup here all day, but as you go further back is where it starts to challenge you.
Right.
And so I'm trying to get the stabilization muscles together as I'm doing that. And I know when I put these videos out, whether on YouTube or Instagram, I know at some point I'm gonna get some feedback, whether good or bad. But I'm just doing things that I think that might help me.
Yeah.
But I don't try to tell people that, hey, this is the way to do it. I would never say that, because the good thing about this sport is that we all have different training methods that works for themselves. Like I'm a big proponent of hand grippers. A lot of people say no because when you squeeze them together, your hand
goes out. Right.
Your wrist
That's
goes
where
back.
you're strongest on them. But if you train grippers with your hand cocked, you're training for arm wrestling.
Right. Yep. But I flip them upside down where the hands are up here.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing like that. So now I'm getting hold of my fingers too. So like I said, it all depends on the person.
Right.
You go to these seminars, right? And you can go, is Roger more accustomed to go to a seminar that has Todd Dilla about all inside stuff, as opposed to me going to a seminar with Travis Bezier where it's all top stuff?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? There's something for everybody there. So that's what the awesome thing is about this sport, is that, there is no one way, because we're not all androids, there's certain styles, because not everybody has the same kind of hand or the same length of arm. Some people got longer fingers than the others. This sport, you cater to everybody. You just have to find out what works best for you and then go for it.
I got short baby hands.
I have a busted pronator.
And Roger, I saw you, Simon Barrett-Chora put up a post the other day, and he had like a piece of tape that went from here to here.
Yeah, that was on there.
Going across. Yeah, we all put our measurements on there and stuff. So it was interesting. I saw Roger's like going, I don't remember his hands. I thought his hands were bigger than that. I remember it. So we gripped up, after pull. I thought they were bigger than that, but I was kind of like, oh, they felt bigger than that. But the thing is that what it does not measure is the thickness, unfortunately.
The width, right? The girth of the hand.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Because my hands look big. Everyone that grips me, I got skinny hands. But man, on that flatness, I got decent sized hands here. Nah, I'm skinny. I'm a 154 guy. My hands ain't big.
As to predictions, I've generally found it's safer to predict the past than the future. And quite frankly, I really don't. I really don't have the data to, to give an honest opinion, so I won't give one. I will say this though: I did meet Jody in Orlando, and of course, he indicated that he was somewhat disappointed that he took second instead of first. But while I did get the opportunity to talk to Jody there, I don't recall seeing Roger at all.
Burn.
Oh
Burn.
man, that's not nice, Dave.
It's merely a statement.
Stir in the pot.
Merely a statement of fact.
It was
Yeah.
honestly,
done
if
good.
I was able to take off from work and have the little extra money, I would have went. It's just time
Yeah.
scheduling was terrible.
Hey,
Well, you guys got to go to the very beginning because I got a hold, or actually Ryan Johnston, the guy that puts on the Fallen Heroes event, he got a hold of me, and he was like, "Hey, I saw your performance at the Foxhound Throwdown in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I was wondering if you want a rematch with JJ Talton at Oklahoma, and I would love to." I took second to him, but he couldn't get the time off, and so he was like, "Well, if there's anybody else you got in mind, let me know." The funny thing about it, I had Roger on my show like maybe a few days before that, and I asked Roger, say, "Hey man, awesome match with Hobbs. Who you got coming up? Who would you want to pull?" And then he said my name. And like I said before, we've been talking about this and thinking about that. It's just we have to have our schedules, aligned and stuff. And I'm thinking, yeah, let's do that. So I'm thinking, hey, Ryan, Roger and I were talking. I'd love to pull this guy. Try to get a hold of him, see what can happen. And so, of course, Roger, being the busy guy that he is, had to make sure he had all his ducks in a row to make sure he can even make it. And so when Ryan said, "Hey, Roger's in," I'm like, "Oh, yes, let's go. And the one thing that bothered me and worried me is because I knew I had the IFA Worlds in front of me right before our match. And I didn't want to, discredit, it seemed like I was more focused on Roger than the IFA Worlds.
Right.
And I had to sit there and take a step back and go, okay, I can't neglect Orlando, Florida, right? For Roger.
Yeah.
But let me go ahead and take care of business in Orlando. And then once, IFA Worlds is in the rearview mirror, then I can focus my attention on Roger. So, when you have two big tournaments and matches a month apart, sometimes you can get, your brain can be all kind of messed up. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Oh yeah. For sure.
because tournament mentality and super match mentality is two different things.
What is the weight difference between you, and do you have a weight limit for the match?
I weigh this morning. I weighed at 228.
I was 245 this morning.
Oh shit!
Oh no.
Well then, wow.
No. Yeah, maybe we need to reconsider this weight cap. No.
Well, the thing is, though, guys, the reason why I was 228 because I had to, make the 231 class for Masters at Worlds.
Gotcha.
So I was really trying to hone in on making sure I got, the weight. So I did all the stupid shit. I mean, I was like, okay, no more snacking. I was, going on walks with my wife, more miles, walks, drinking distilled water. I mean, just kind of watching. I had to slow down on some of the stuff like beef jerky because there's a lot of sodium. So any water I drink is going to hold that water. So I had to make sure all that was on my system. Went down to Orlando cranky. Everybody was having good food. I'm sitting up here with like sunflower seeds and shit. So I just want to make sure once I got to the weight, fine. Because you got to remember at Worlds, if you guys are paying attention, who was in the supers, in the Masters? Michael Todd was, right? So I was like, okay, I don't want to enter that class. I don't want to. So I just thought I had a better chance at 231 rather than 232 and over. So that's why I'm still kind of hovering around 228. So
how do you think you would have done if Michael Todd wasn't there in the heavyweight supers Masters?
Ooh. That's tough to say because you got to realize now guys are like 260, 275, 280.
Yeah.
So once you get to that 232 and over, it's unlimited. So it's like for me, I had to realistically, 231 was perfect because the next weight class down was 209. And I'm like a bobblehead. I don't want to be 209 because I like to eat.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
wife loves to cook. It's fall,
That's
which means
230,
it's crock pot
235.
season. Yeah, that's me. Or if you want to go,
That's
you
your
know,
sweet spot.
off the or the North American rankings, which is the 242. That's me right there. But
Yeah.
there was the 242 class of world, so I had to be, you know,
Right.
strategic in that point. That's all.
Yeah. Gotcha. That's smart. That's good. That makes sense. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if you've ever pulled the guys that got 2 and 3 under Michael Todd.
No, but it would have been
No.
interesting to see what would happen. But you know, my main thing was to win, and
Yeah.
some guy from Brazil, pretty much, I couldn't do anything with that guy. You know,
Dude,
He was-
I've
I
felt
saw
that guy's hand. That guy's
Ooh.
hand is his thumb is fucking enormous. That
Is
dude
it
is
bigger than
strong.
Zinks?
dude,
Yeah.
guys, I'm gonna tell you guys something.
That dude's strong.
I tried to go outside, didn't work. I
Yeah.
tried to go inside, didn't work. I'm like, that guy's just another. First of all, I was like going, that guy made 231, but you know,
Yeah.
be that as it may. And then he pulls the open class, and then Jerome now just takes him over like it's nothing. So
Wow.
it's like, wow,
Yeah.
you know, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy, I've seen him around here, up here, and he's just a strong dude, man.
Yeah, from what I know, he's good friends with Marcio out of New Jersey.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I saw him at Keystones. I shook his hand and I was like, holy Jesus.
It's, you know, the nicest guy you ever want to meet, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, my friend, or, you know, put his arm around me, took a photo and stuff. And,
Yeah.
you know, matches I didn't have with him, you know, he was kind of, you know, cheering me on and stuff, you know, and that's kind of cool. I mean, honestly, Roger, I know you didn't make worlds, but if you would have gone, you know, it puts things in perspective. When you're up on stage, you get somebody from a different country, and then you got everybody, you know, cheering for you and stuff, you know, it gets you right here. But at the same time, it's like, man, these guys are cheering for me. You can't help but to, you know, sit there and give it your all, you know. So I mean, that was pretty cool. That was an awesome experience, and I hope to do this maybe next year. Rumor has it that the IFA Worlds will be somewhere in Ukraine next year, I believe, but they still got to have the meetings. But IFA Nationals will be back in Irving, Texas in June.
I'll definitely be trying to make that then.
Did you get the opportunity to hear Steve Walker cheering people on down there?
Yeah.
Dude, whenever
didn't hear
he's
it, you
cheering
weren't
someone on, like I always say, if he was cheering me on like that, I would be afraid to lose.
Oh man, what would happen if you lost?
You know?
Yeah,
He gets into it.
He should have done the refereeing for the hearing impaired. They would have heard him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
No, but
bass
he's-
would actually,
dude.
they would feel his voice.
He is one of the best cheerleaders for sure.
Oh, he's a man. He's amazing.
Very supportive of everybody.
Yeah.
Nice
he's a really
guy.
good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's scary, but he's such a good dude.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy. And Maddie did really well down there
Yeah.
too. That's great. Yeah.
All in all, awesome experience. Yes, I would have wished there were more representation from different countries. I mean, they were there though. I mean, Lithuania, Costa Rica, obviously Mexico and Canada,
Yeah.
Taiwan. I mean, there were some other countries that were there. You know, it's just, you know, with the where we live in now with COVID being, you know,
Yeah.
hey, you can't leave your country. I get
I know, that
So, yeah,
sucks.
we didn't get a chance
Yeah.
to have Poland. We didn't get a chance to have Sweden, you know, Denmark, you know, those countries, the United Kingdom, they didn't get an opportunity to come over.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to know come next year, if they hold that Worlds in Ukraine, how many countries are going to go then, you know, because here we are again, guys. I don't want to get off topic, but here's WAF, here's IFA, and, you know, people are saying, well, you know, WAF is the real, you know, fine, but, you know, being at what it is now, I don't foresee WAF having that many more countries than IFA did. That's just what it is,
Right.
because for that reason itself, they just leave the countries. That's it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's that conversation came up.
Yeah,
Like
I got it.
I know they were waiting to, you know, they had already waited a year to have this. So a lot of people were like, should they have waited longer, you think, to try to get on the other end of this COVID? Because now Worlds might not be here, or I know it won't be here
Well-
next, you know what I mean? So had they waited to have Worlds here after COVID, I don't know. How long do you think is okay to wait to have, you know, this Worlds with what's going on, you know?
Well, whenever they do decide, that's irrelevant because I mean, I just heard that didn't WAF ban all of the Georgian athletes? So I mean, they're
Yeah.
already they're COVIDing themselves. So IFA is looking really good for whenever COVID does open up. They might be that's where the real world will be because they're not banning entire countries because they competed somewhere else.
Right.
I mean, that's a total aside, and we're getting into all the politics I'm trying to avoid because we're talking about Roger and Jody tonight. But you know,
Well, I'll say
IFA,
one more
you know,
thing to put a bow tie on that topic. The first IFA Worlds was in Poland in 2019, and technically, this one in Orlando, Florida, was supposed to be last year.
Right.
But because of COVID, it backed everything up a year. So
Yeah.
we already waited a whole year. And
Yeah.
for me, I thought it was important to go because, okay, when's the next, Worlds coming to North America? Because
Right.
WAF took it away from us in 2015,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we won the bid, and then they just kind of pulled the carpet underneath us and decided we're going to go a different direction. That's when everything started going, off the rails. But
Yeah.
that's enough about that. Let's get back to the Texas tornado, Mr. Roger Learn over there.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
for anyone out there that doesn't know, why don't you guys say, when you're pulling and at what tournament and all that stuff?
October 23rd in Kansas City, Missouri, I believe.
Yeah. At the Fallen Heroes event.
Maybe we can do like we did with you and Hobbs and stream it live at the Paul Lynn Brezink match.
I doubt that would ever go over. It's Brezink, man. He has the show like there.
well, hey,
Oh,
there's
no.
also Grondin and Roberts. There's
That's
other
right.
shows.
That's right.
Not the big. Brezink and
That's right,
Glenn is
dude.
the side
Well, that's
show.
Brezink-
of course there.
That is
Brezink
an
and
aside.
Paul are on me and Gary Roberts undercard.
Exactly.
Ryan, do you feel like you're not going to be the world's worst arm wrestler after you go through Gary?
I don't know,
Talk
dude.
about a- you
I
wanna
don't
talk
know.
about a
He
real
has
swing of
he has a
power?
lot.
We're talking about the worst
He's been arm
arm
wrestling a lot longer than I have. You
But
know?
I mean, he's a top roller. That's it. If
I
you
know.
can get him into the straps and just put your weight behind it, you got it all day long.
He's right.
This is a similar match like you two. Top
That's
roller
exactly
versus
right.
hooker.
It's the same thing.
Our match is just a joke match, really. Like, let's be honest. It's just for fun. And but your match is a real match. You know?
Ryan, don't say that though, for real. Just because you're both equally a lower level, it's still a good match.
Yeah,
Just
dude,
because the
it's
skill
not.
level is
It's a joke.
different,
Yeah,
still-
but
the
it's
match is
it's a
just
joke
good.
match, just like
But a
for
joke
fun,
as
you
it
know,
may
like-
be, a joke as it may be, it still
there's-
generates more interest in the sport. So therefore, it's a good match.
You're still fighting for a title.
Well, you know what?
You're still fighting for the title of worst arm wrestler.
I am going to make sure that we live stream their match at the Brezink Paul Lynn match. What are they going to do about it?
That'd be
I'll
great.
just put it on the side of my vehicle or something. We'll bring a projector and we'll get it on there.
That'll be
I
great.
will say this. I will make a prediction and say 90% is going to take over the whole weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, whether
Yes.
it's a
I think it's a
joke,
fair prediction.
Yeah.
That's a good prediction.
whether it's a joke or not,
Love
it's
that.
be entertaining. People are looking forward to it, and quite frankly, it's going to be far less of a joke than when the WL had Ayala pulling Juji Mufu. So there.
No.
Right. Fair.
I'm sorry, but as far as Juju goes, he's good. He has his followers. I get it, but the fact that he was on WAL and nobody that actually put their time in the sport didn't make it. WAL is what it is. It's for entertainment purposes, which is fine. I'll still watch it because I'm a fan of the sport. But at the same time, it's like going, you had guys like Paul Passmore, Robbie Burnett, like paying their dues and putting the work in other tournaments to get recognition, just to have some guy like Juju come in here and like seriously, dude, like, come on, man.
Right.
It kind of, I thought it was like a slap in our faces because here we
I
all
agree.
are putting in the work and we still got a, 9-to-5 job through the week, still having time to balance training, balance family time. And he just kind of walks in here and, hey, I got a match with Mike Aiello. It wasn't serious, but he got a bunch of views.
Yeah.
I'll give him this though. He did do an actual tournament and did pretty well. I mean, I granted he excelled fast and he was projected fast because of his YouTube following, but he did do some of the stuff right. He did do a tournament first. he didn't just jump into a super match as a strong man that never pulled before. You know, he did do some training and worked out with some guys, but
He did as good as
definitely
his
got
money
one
allowed
more
him.
year. One more year, it would have been a lot better for him to get a WAL match for real. I agree with that. He was a little too quick.
In the 1 year he did arm wrestling, he got to grip up with almost everybody that you would want to grip up with. So honestly, he had the best teaching that you could get.
Yeah.
True.
I did ask Joe Drellick if he was coming to ours in Virginia, and he said no, he is going to Missouri.
Roger, are you pulling the tournament also, by the way?
What was that?
Are you going to also pull the tournament?
Yeah, I most likely will hit the super heavyweight at that tournament. So I don't think I'll get down to 236 in time.
10 pounds.
I mean, it's 10 pounds, so who knows?
I'm very excited for this match.
I'd like to ask Ryan how he's going to top his comment to Brzenk at the last tournament.
Oh yeah. So
that one.
So Brzenk showed up and walked in, and he just happened to be walking by me, so I just went to like shake his hand, and his thumb was enormous. So I just said, "Wow, your thumb's bigger than my penis," and he just looked at
penis.
Yeah, well, I said my dick, and the guys behind me were like, "Dude, you just met John Brzenk, and that's what you said to him." But I was like, if anyone, he's going to remember my greeting more than anybody else.
Okay, so that picture he put of his thumb, so that's a legit. That wasn't Photoshop.
Yeah, you see how big his thumb is?
Yeah.
I was like,
I saw that.
When I gripped up, I was like, holy shit, dude.
Make my tiny ass thumb look big if you held it at that angle.
Muscle did pretty good too.
I don't have that angle, but
Schwartz Dan couldn't even get around his thumb.
No, he doesn't have a big
An
thumb.
old child holding on to someone's leg.
Right. Yeah, he's got some crazy big hands, dude.
Yeah.
It's
one of the smallest hands in the sport.
And he still took a picture with me. He didn't say "get the fuck away from me."
It's from
So
35
that's a
years
positive.
of getting that thumb yanked on. That's what it is.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
that's probably it.
Yeah.
Oh, and you saw his
Or-
YouTube video, man. He's squeezing the racquetball. He's like, work the thumb. Work the thumb.
Yeah.
He's getting in there doing it, man.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
There
football.
you go.
Nice.
I should
I
warn
like
you,
it.
Jody, that Rogers probably won more matches in the last 3 months than I've won in 4.5 years. But of course I suck. So maybe that's, not really all that great.
Well, you're not bad for your age.
But you pulled more
I
than
tell
he has.
people, right?
Hmm.
I tell people because the questions are, how do you feel about your match going against Roger? And I tell people it's like, you know what, this is very important to me because my last super match I had was a guy in Oregon, and he kind of gave me anxiety, for what he is. But this match doesn't worry me. It's because I know, we watch each other's matches. He's watched filmed on me. I watched film on him. We're like coordinators in the NFL where, okay, I got to break down the offense or I got to break down the defense. We're watching each other's stuff. That's what good arm wrestlers do, right? I noticed with Roger that he's not one of these guys that likes to hoop and holler and scream, but, he's thinking as he's on the table, he's thinking. And, I respect that of Roger. And I told people, it's like, you know what? Don't think that, just because he's not a household name out west, that he's a nobody. Because I know Roger. I know for a fact that, he's coming. I know he's been watching my stuff. I understand that. I know. And I know for a fact that, he's going to bring everything he has and he's going to go on the table, and I got to take this match just as serious as I take anything else in my entire life. And, I understand that as arm wrestlers, we all have that one win that we cherish. For me, it'd be like Artem or Ole Mazoy. Those are the wins I cherish most. I know Roger has a couple in his back pocket too, but I think if I, for somehow, some way, some reason, if I can come out victorious, I can put him on that pedestal because, I think Roger doesn't get the recognition aside from the Northeast that he deserves. It was awesome that he went down to Florida, King of Florida, and made a name for himself, right? So now he's known down there. It's just we need to get him out there a little bit more, some more exposure. Because I think people don't actually know because he's not on social media a lot. But he's a guy that, hey, don't sleep on Roger. And I always tell people that, who's Roger? Let me show you some video about who he is. And then it's like, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely appreciate that. We think from being from the Northeast, Roger is out there representing the Northeast, because like I said, just because he's big here, let's see how he does outside of there. Now he's going to Texas, going to Florida. Now he's got you from the Northwest. He's showing the Northeast.
And he's been one of our biggest supporters since day one.
Big
So
time 98 guy.
Anything we can ever do for Roger, even you've supported us too. Like if we can ever do anything to help promote or whatever, like we'll do whatever for anybody just to make the sport more exciting,
For sure.
I'm about to come out there one of these days, out to the East Coast.
Please.
We'd love to have you.
Our next tournament's in March.
Is that the Keystone one or what?
No, this is going to be it's going to be called Winter Blast. And
It's gonna be a doozy.
Sue Fisher, she used to have Winter Blast as her tournament up here, and she's pretty well known and has been to Worlds and nationals, and she is allowing us to use her tournament name and teaming up with us to throw this.
Oh wow.
So that's pretty cool. Because other people have tried to take her tournament name and she was like, nope. But she's allowing us to do it, which is pretty awesome. So
I think Winter Blast was one of Paul Lynn's first tournaments. I just saw him talking about it. I was like, no shit. Yeah, and it was like Storm Chelino was there and all these big names. And
so
it was always a big deal.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
You know what I like? There was a footage on YouTube, and I think it might have been Alex Topro might have been there. It was a big, I think it's under Pennsylvania Armwrestling or something like that.
The Battle of the Stashes.
It was like a big, huge practice, but it was a bunch of super matches, right?
Yeah.
And
Battle of the Stashes.
Yeah, I was watching like Roger versus like Frank Hurst and things like that, and I saw Black Ice on there, and
I pulled Black Ice that day.
Yeah, Sabrina, she was one of the she pulled Miss Top Row, and I'm watching that kind of going. It kind of sparked what I want to do. So this coming weekend, in 2 days, this is what we do, because tournaments out in Northwest are like it's not what it used to be. It's kind of dying. So which is why I'm always going to Texas and Oklahoma and Florida, all that kind of stuff, because I have to travel because there's no state championship is there anymore. So what we decided to do is create our own little state rankings. So we got this big practice coming up in 2 days here in Bend, Oregon, and all the guys are going to come here, and it's all for ranking purposes and pride. So the guy that runs the rankings, he's going to be there. So that way, for example, if the number one guy is pulling the number 4 guy, if 4 wins, he takes the number 1 spot.
Nice.
Number 1 guy drops down. That's how we're going to do that. And I think, by doing this throughout the whole year, because there's no state championships, we do it like once every 3 or 4 months to kind of keep things, relevant. But
that's cool.
Washington State's in December, and we'll go there. And if an Oregon guy pulls another Oregon guy, well, guess what? That counts for the rankings. So it's broken down into classes: 54, 76, 98, 242, and 243 and over. And then you have an overall ranking. Yeah. So, like right now, I'm like number 1 left and right, 242, but yet on the left overall in the state, I'm like 5. So, there's always that kind of stuff. So I thought, me and a couple of guys would do that kind of stuff to kind of get the guys to go, okay, let's, even though there's no tournaments here in Oregon, let's train hard, do what we need to do to kind of get things going. So that's something we started to do, but that idea came from that big giant practice you guys had.
That's cool.
That's where that stemmed from.
I want to shout out to where that kind of came from, because Zach Lee had a lot of that put together, and he started that with his own team. And all these guys would talk shit in practice pool, and guys would win in practice and not. So they said, all right, let's settle it. We'll call it the Shit Talkers Tournament.
Right.
It was all these guys on their team that got together and they did it, and it started bad, right? But then the next 2 or 3 kind of came up a little bit.
You did pull Frank Hurst.
Well, I mean, not only that,
you did 3 super matches. That was a bad idea.
I had 4 super matches that day.
That was a bad idea.
I mean,
you should have started with Frank.
I should have.
That was your mistake, was not starting with Frank.
But from that idea, we've kind of built on that with the 98, where we do the.
So who was the
super
guy
match
with the
practice
mustache
event.
and the flannel?
Mustache.
Eli Kerr,
Roger. Who was the guy?
Oh, Eli, yeah.
Eli
Yeah.
Kerr was the one on my left arm, and
No name guy. I
I,
don't know.
I forgot the right arm dude. He's a good friend. It's just like his name is not hopping in my head. But then Frank Hurst took me after having a super match with both of those guys. So he got the leftovers, and I still got 2 wins on the left arm on him.
There you go. But that's kind of good because now it's like, even though you have 4 super matches, like, look, you know, I'm getting some work in. You know,
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm gonna do this guy.
I lost
'cause-
my rank that day. That was the day I got kicked off the left arm rank because I
Oh.
did so many losses that day.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Sorry, it was still fun.
So what ranking was that? A tournament or just actual practice?
It was a
super match event.
Practice with super
Yeah.
match.
Yeah, it was super matches.
Referee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a practice. It was
And they
still
were all
Yeah,
referee.
super heavies too that I was going against, except Frank Hurst.
And that hurt you because he was a 220 guy that was just Frank Hurst,
Yeah.
who hasn't
Frank
pulled in
Hurst.
so long. So he was off the rankings. He hasn't pulled in so many years.
And then Miguel comes in at the end fresh and wins King of the Table.
King of the table.
King of the Table. Yeah.
Okay, here's the problem I got with the rankings, and I really, this question is really aimed toward Roger. So you said, you know, because you lost that you got out of the rankings. Well, Frank Hurst is a what, 220 puller?
Yeah.
Is that because he's 220, that shouldn't affect you in the 242? That's just my opinion. So I don't think it's fair from that standpoint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I think the loss against the loss against Eli Kerr because he was a no-namer is what Chance told me that kind of was the ultimate decision because you can't be losing against, you know, everybody being on the rank.
I mean, I get that. I mean, because, you know, me, a guy that's 45 years old, by the way, and I go and take, you know, second in the world, but it doesn't do anything for me in the rankings because
Yeah.
number one, the class is 231. I didn't pull anybody that was in the 242 class. I didn't pull the opens, what it basically comes down to. However, come October 23rd, I have a huge opportunity to do that because there are guys in there like Russ Schrader, Bo Olsen. Those guys got a left-hand super match for a belt. And I know for a fact people like Roger and myself got a very, very invested, you know, look at that because those are the guys that are in front of us, you know.
Right.
And if you wear each other out, God willing, you guys pull the tournament left. Guess what? You know, Roger and myself are gonna get the dog bones on that.
Yep.
The reason I like this match too is win or lose for both of you, you're still moving up towards that pinnacle. Like it's not going to knock one of you out. Like you're still both moving
it's
up.
It's a good high-level match.
Yeah.
It's just a good high-level match.
Like I don't think it'll affect either one of you. You're still going to be climbing that mountain after this match. And, you know.
You both
real
have
tough one to call.
something to gain and something, you know, to prove.
I don't mean to be too selfish on this, but I have a lot more to gain pulling Jody than Jody pulling me. I'm number 20. He's number 13. So, I mean, it's the honor's mine, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. I wish
And
they
he's
had a
nicer
national
than you.
class, but you know, they don't think too highly of guys 40 and over in the national division, which is fine. You know, that's okay too. But no, I mean, to sit there and I know I thought Roger should be higher, honestly, but because didn't you just like take left-hand overall at the Empire States tournament this past
Yeah,
weekend?
nobody on the rank was there though, so I think that's how they look at it. You have to pull the person on the rankings.
See, and with the rankings, there's pros and cons to it. It's cool to be on there, don't get me wrong, but unless someone goes to it, you can sit there and be knocking heads, right? Taking first here, there, and everywhere, and all of a sudden, if those guys aren't there, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
And it's kind of unfortunate it goes like that, but
Yeah.
I see why. So it kind of forces matches like Roger and myself to take place. Because
Yeah, you got to chase down the match.
yeah,
And honestly, people that have a high rank on the list, I know in the hook, they're pretty much in the top 10. They're too scared to pull anybody outside that top 10 list because if they lose, I mean, they're out of the spotlight or they're out of their comfort zone. And people don't like to work. They don't like to put in the work.
Right.
I'm glad you said that because here's my theory, right? And I've gone through this time and time again over the years. I've been pulling for 11 years now. And here's my thing. So guys in the top 10, they, like you said, Roger, they want to kind of stay there because they want to keep their top 10 because it means a lot to them. I get it. If somebody who's ranked, let's just say 20th, right, says, hey, how about you and I get to a match? And then the guy that's ranked number 9 says, yeah, you know what? I have nothing to gain. I'm going to say no. Meanwhile, that guy who's number 9 wants to knock on the door of the guy who's number 1.
Yeah.
And number 1 goes,
Right.
no, you're not up on my elite level.
And then he's pissed off. Right.
Right. So at some point, all it takes is for somebody of a higher rank to say, yes, let's do this.
Yeah.
But like Roger said, there's too many people who are scared because they're going to lose. Hey, guys, newsflash. This is a sport where you're going to take some losses. That's just the way it is. If you can maintain that and fight everybody off and still, take the W, kudos to you. I'll buy you a beer, whatever. But this is a sport where you're going to take your licks, man. I mean, that's just the way it is. If I lose to Roger, I will go buy him a beer. Let's go do this, because, hey, good match, my friend. Good luck at the tournament. Kick some ass in the supers. I'm going to do my shit in the heavies, and then, we'll go ahead and talk it over. That kind of stuff. I think we kind of got away from that because so many people are so, reluctant to, I don't want to pull this guy because, I don't want to lose my spot. I mean, if you're that scared, then maybe you're not putting the work in. Yeah. As I say, here's my theory. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. End of.
Yep. That's true.
Love that. Love that.
That is true.
You gotta put the work in to get the actual results.
Absolutely.
That's why I see both of you guys working hard. So it's nice, give the hungry guys a chance and have these guys that are milking their spot get out of the way,
I would love to just, meet up with some guys and just talk shop.
Yeah.
Like if for some odd reason I make my way out to the East Coast and I came to Roger and Jennifer's place, first thing I do is take off my shoes at the door, first and foremost, right? Then we'd have a seat, we just sit there and talk shop. It's just for me, when you're at my stage in this sport, it's all about, making friends and just talking, having a good conversation. I'm okay with that, and just, oh, hey, how'd you do this tournament? How's this guy pulling? And vice versa, and hey, when's your next, training? And so even Roger said, I got to look at my schedule because he's a busy guy. I get that, and once our match is all said and done, I got some things I got to do. He has some things he has to do. And then, at some point we'll probably meet again at another tournament down the road. But I'm glad this is going to happen. I never got the chance to pull Roger in the ROTN and Waxahachie because he made the final 8. He made the top 8. I didn't get there. So, and that was the long day in itself because after pulling 4 matches, Roger, what was your record?
No, actually, 1 loss in the tournament, and then I didn't get no wins in the little round robin 8-man thing. I was just, Wayne Withers. You had Jonathan Breida,
Herman Stevens,
Herman Stevens. You had them all. It was a Rush Schrader. They were just. Ugh.
So just to let you guys know how big that weekend was, especially that day.
Yeah.
So, that Friday I was coming off the weirdo camera guy and I was still kind of sore, but I was like, look, I'm in Texas. I get to pull all these guys. Let's go ahead and get after it. So, there's 25 guys in our class, okay? 25, right? That's a lot. And we're talking about some studs in there. You heard Roger when he said who was in there. So you pull a regular tournament and then those top 8 go on to the money round. Right. So Roger was like, 3-1 or whatever. I was 2-2, so I didn't make the cut. So here's Roger, part of the top 8. Now the remaining 17 guys, you have to reshuffle and run a normal double elimination tournament. So there was more matches there. I can't tell you how toasted I was after that. Now, fortunately for me, I was able to take, first place left hand, but, Chance Shaw was in there, but he was so, worn out that he kind of just laid down to me. I was looking forward to pulling Chance, even though I know that was not his dominant hand, but nonetheless, that was just a wild day and everybody felt every minute of that. That was so crazy. I got on the airplane the next day, like, dude, I'm like this, like, I'm so sore right now. But it's memories like that and tournaments like that where am I ever going to do this kind of stuff again? We're all in Texas. I'm coming from the West. Roger's coming from the East. We're all migrated to one central area as we are on the 23rd. And it's like going, you got to do it. You have to do that. That's stuff you have to do, Yeah.
I had more fun at the after pools or the bar than the tournament itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Usually do.
that's the best part. That's all I focus on because let's be honest, I'm not going to win any tournaments anytime soon. So my whole goal is to just have a good time and make new friends.
But I'd be honest, even if you focus on winning and you win, you were so focused on winning you couldn't enjoy anything anyway. So by the time you get to after pool, it's like I won and now it's time to fucking play.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Even if you do win, the after pool is still my favorite part.
That was the one
Always
thing
been my
that annoyed
favorite
me
part. I
about
learned
because
most too.
I've been hearing about these wonderful after polls and after parties and everything after the international tournaments for years. And what do we have there? Nothing.
I know. That sucks.
That's a bummer.
That's
You
what we
learn
learned,
the
folks.
most in after polls.
You should have
I
brought your
gotta
table
say,
out in the
it's
hotel,
been the
Dave.
most educational.
If I wasn't flying, I would have.
That's a good point.
At
I
least
figured you would have drove. You drive everywhere else.
The after poll is the best part because all the studs are weak and you can come in and get some wins and be like,
Right.
yeah.
Well, not only that, but they
Put it on
teach you
your
how to beat
TikTok.
them. People that have beaten you in matches actually take the time. That's one of the beautiful things that my favorite things about after poll. They teach you what you need to do to beat them. And so now I have exactly what the motions I need to go through and strengthen in that are my weak points and my chinks in the armor, that the next time I grip up with this guy, I hope that I can actually beat him.
Yeah.
And he's given me some hope because he said, just strengthen in this area, in this lane. And then boom.
My win on Mike Aiello knocked him out of the rankings.
Poor guy.
Hey,
No.
cherish that shit, you know. But
It was
another thing about the after pool is that you get to learn stuff because I will take some of my knowledge and apply it to the table and stuff, and then they may take it, may not, whatever. But I know I take something for each time I pull somebody because they may know something I don't know that hey, I'm training this guy or I'm training with my team and stuff, and I come to find out, oh, this guy taught me how to do this. You always take a little bit here and there and all that kind of stuff. You take it back with you. You apply it to your training. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, you just throw it away, move on to the next. So that's the awesome thing about after pulling too. I mean, we all get to just, no one's on alert. Everyone's kind of like, okay.
Yeah. Right.
Even the guys who are afraid to lose, it doesn't matter.
Right.
The only thing you got to worry about is those yahoos that want to sit there and get a quick win and then post that shit on fucking social media. It's like, really, man? Because it's like, come on.
And if somebody has to post a win on you, you're doing something right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like no one posts a win on Ryan and brags about
That's
it.
right. Nobody.
If you have that problem, you're doing something good.
Well, I mean, when Michael and Rebecca Todd came to Oregon, and I made a 3-hour trip up north, and we're just outside of Portland, and he had the motorhome. We're on the parking lot with Multnomah Falls in the background, and I knew, and here's the thing: Michael Todd sat there and told everybody, "Hey, this is how it's going to go down," because he was still coming off pneumonia or whatever. So he goes, "I'm going to pull everybody twice, take a break, pull you twice, take a break, and so on and so on." He said, "Look, you can hit me as far as you want to. I'm going to try to catch you and then try to pull you back." So he explains how this is going to go down.
Yeah.
And then, of course, nobody touched him left-handed, as rightfully so.
Right.
And we go left hand, and he even told you, he goes, "Hey, my shoulder's pretty nice, but I have nothing for my hand and wrist." And he tells you guys that. So just go ahead and hit, and I'll see if I can pull you back. So, yeah, I snuck in a few wins on him, but I'm not going to take that as like, oh, I can beat Michael Todd.
Right.
Some people are doing that. It's like going, don't be a weirdo, because he told you what was going to happen. And not only that, but it's like, even though Michael Todd has 60% is a lot better than most people's 90%.
Yeah.
But still, I'm not going to take that as like I can beat Michael Todd. Never enough.
Right.
What I will take is the fact that he told me, "Hey, that's a pretty good press. Maybe you can try doing this instead." So that's what you learn from it. He'll tell you, "Hey, that's pretty good. Maybe you can do this, and maybe this may be more effective." That's the best you learn. Right?
Yeah, that's the best thing about getting guys that are heads and shoulders above your actual strength level, is they can tell you exactly where you are effective.
Right.
That is. Yeah. It takes a skill to be, when you're that strong, to be able to tell somebody where they're strongest. Mm-hmm. It's real easy just to keep people out of their power.
Right.
But Michael Todd's able to let you into your power and tell you where that feels good and how to use it. He's a great teacher in that respect. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I always tell people losses are free directions to future wins. That's like my go-to.
Yeah.
Because some people take losses really hard, and it's like, dude, it's not a big deal,
Yeah, Jody, I'm glad you mentioned that about how Todd worked with you on that, because I've criticized Todd a little bit because how he uses his art arm. He kind of hooks it and doesn't use it quite right. And some of his weight training techniques aren't quite perfect and whatever. But because he's so unorthodox, he does what works for him. But anyway,
Right.
to hear that he can work with you and do that in real time and show you where you're strong, that shows that Michael Todd's a real good teacher. Because for a while I had the wrong impression that maybe he was so unorthodox that he couldn't teach. But it sounds like he's really able to find your strong points, and I think that's good on Michael Todd. I think that's cool.
He gets so much shit from people, which I don't know why. I mean, when you actually have a sit down, because I've hung out with him and Rebecca on many occasions, and in fact, that day we had the little seminar / practice. We all hiked the Mount Loma Falls to the very top, and again, that was more like conversation. How you doing?
Right.
Is everything all right? We're just chit chat, making small talk. Those are the things I like. So when Roger and Jennifer's down there in Kansas City, hey, what's going on? Long time to see. How's everything? How's work? How's life? It's okay to have those kind of conversations, because I love talking about arm wrestling, but I also want to talk about, how's work going for you, and that kind of stuff. And that's what it's all about. I think some people kind of get away from that because I understand that, at the table I'm Chocolate Thunder, but away from the table I'm Jody Williams. Whole different thing. I'm here to chit chat, have a good time. And, I'm one of those guys that if I get hammered, I just go in a corner and just laugh because I'm just a goofy drunk, whatever. But it's all about just having a good time and stuff, and getting back to my Michael Todd thing, he just gets so much flack and he's not like that. He may come off as a prick on the table, but you got to remember his thing on the table is like, I'm not losing anybody. But when it's all said and done, they're just a more down home to earth than anybody else,
Hey, I've had actually when I was as Devin Plaret, the troll army guy, you know what I mean? I got the most interaction with Michael Todd, and he friended me first. He talked to me. He was very cool, and even as Josh Berger, once I told him who I was, he friended me quick, and he was quick to recognize me as an arm wrestler and talk to me, and he was a really humble, nice guy. And I as Devin Plaret, I gave him some good trolls, and I do Devin Larrett as trolls too. I had him punching himself in the face because he couldn't untrain himself from arm wrestling. So I'll joke anybody. But Michael Todd was really he really was okay with the trolling and the jokes, and a lot of people give him a hard time thinking he's kind of whiny or doesn't like any of that, and if you don't kiss his butt, he's mad at you. But no, he was really really cool, and
he's a cool guy.
He's a real cool dude for sure.
Well, he gets a lot of crap about his workouts, but if you ever watch and listen to him, he's doing a workout where you're just trying to move the weight, not necessarily like he's just trying to put up as much weight as he can in one day.
Yeah.
He's not focusing on like technique or proper form. He's just moving as much fucking weight as he can. And that's actually like a style of workout that some of the strongmen do and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
They just want to put up numbers.
Here's one thing I want to say. If Michael Todd's listening, here's a tip.
Dude, we only have 3 followers. Come on.
I know, but he's hearing this. I guarantee it. Anyway, he used the art arm, and he said in the video, he's like, I used to use the rolling handle, the 2-inch or 3-inch rolling handle instead of the art arm. But I think that gave him more finger pressure using that rolling handle because I've used them both. And anyway, once you get around on that art arm, dude, you're not really working your pronation or your fingers as much. And I think you said it the best, Michael Todd. That shit worked for you, and you were able to control Devin in that WL match when you were using that rolling handle. And that was the difference. It wasn't him weighing 300 pounds and being on pancakes. It was you using that rolling handle. That's my call. Anyway, I'm done. That was out of the blue and a tangent, but it's okay. You can edit that out.
Well, anyway, let's get back to this tournament. Hopefully everybody will tune in and watch this because I know everybody up here in the Northeast is absolutely excited to see this match. So I hope you guys both have a really good time pulling each other.
Definitely will.
Oh yeah, you see, Roger's like quiet.
I know
now.
he's a little shy.
Rogers, he got something spinning in his brain. He's like, yeah, I probably, once this show is all said and done, I'm sure he'll probably sit there and probably look at some more footage of me, see how to make sure he's taking notes. I know he will.
He shaved purposely so that he looks 12 and you don't view him as like a threat or an adult.
Babyface killer over there.
Babyface. Yeah.
I assure you, I view him as a threat on all of it. I view him as a threat, period. Yeah. Like I said before, he doesn't get the recognition he deserves outside the Northeast, and people need to understand that. Yeah, he's ranked 20th, but I think he's higher than that in my book. Like I said before, I can't say enough about the guy, man. When you actually break everything down, yeah, he top rolls. I never seen a whole lot of it, but I know his hook is dominant. And like I said, maybe he might throw a curveball and come out with a top roll and shock me. Maybe I might, throw a curveball back at him or a slider and come out, with my own hook. Who knows? Yeah. But you don't know until you try it. Right. And I think so people want to win so much, and I get that they're afraid to try, the unknown. Like, I feel like I can hang in a hook. Try it. If I can't do it, then guess what? I can't do it. Lucky for me, I have more tools in the shed. But I don't, like I said before, I don't want to sound like a dead horse. And maybe Roger can, chime in on this too. Why train something if you're never going to use it?
Yeah.
Why sit there and spend countless time in practice training inside hook if you're afraid to use it at a tournament? And that's what I'm trying to tell my teammates. Like, hey, man, I understand he's like the stud, but I won't know until I do it. If I do it and he beats me to it, then guess what? I can check that off the list. Okay, don't go into a hook or Roger, or make sure he doesn't put me into a hook. Yeah. But that's all about the strategy, and I don't know how Roger feels about that.
I agree. I mean, you always got to do different avenues, and if it doesn't work, you got to change it. You can't be a one move, person. It's just never works out.
I avoid pulling Roger because I've warmed up with him a few times, and he just rips me open, and then I have nothing when the tournament comes. So I don't warm up with Roger anymore.
That's Miguel for you. I mean, that's training with Miguel. He just he has one speed.
Yeah,
hit.
Right. I've noticed I think it's kind of a cultural thing, because a lot of like the Russians do that too, where they just hit full force. Like they're not easing into practice.
You have to communicate. I feel like if you communicate real well, they'll go easy. But let them know you're hurt, and then they might go easy.
Right. No, you tell Miguel you're hurt, he hits you even harder. It's so nice.
What a dick.
He's not the boss, anyways. If I have any complaints, I just tell Sabrina.
Roger, were you there when I used my technique against Miguel?
When was this?
When I kicked him under the table.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
That was at the practice event.
Oh yeah, you kicked. Yeah, I heard about that. I just didn't see it.
He won't even let me arm wrestle him unless I beat Sabrina first. He's like, if you beat my wife, then you can arm wrestle me. I'm like, all right.
Was that at the tournament at the 98 in Philly, or was it at a practice?
That was at the what's it called, Ryan? What was the bar?
Dad's?
The one that
Port Carbon, the Port Bar and Grill.
Oh, that was yeah. That was the Port Bar and Grill.
The one where we had it around the deck outside.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
that was a good practice.
Like Jody said, we do those super match practice events. We need to get more of those going in the Northeast again. You're talking about those, Ryan. With
what we try to do, Jody, is we contacted the bar and told them, look, we want to have a practice here. We're going to have some super matches, and the guy agreed. And
nice.
We had 60 to 65 people show up for a practice, and the guy made some money, and then he sponsored our next event and threw us $500. So now, between our tournaments, we always try to have one of those big practices to like generate some income towards the tournament. And that's how we've been affording to fly people in or give away a free table. stuff like that.
That's nice.
So-
All I did was just got a hold of Parks and Rec and said, hey, can I rent out this park? Because they have like a pavilion.
Yeah.
So that way, we can all have it there. We're going to have about 3 or 4 tables. I told the guys I'll supply the chalk and the straps, and I'll be the main guy reffing because I want to kind of stay fresh for Roger, but I'm not going to participate in that. I might do a little bit of pulling around just to see how things feel, but I'm just going to be reffing because I'm a certified junior ref. So that'll give me more time to get some more, pulling as far as reffing and matches and stuff like that. So I'll be doing that. But it's for me to kind of give back, like, hey guys, we don't have a tournament here in Oregon as far as state championships. Why not do this? So everyone's going to be coming and stuff. And
that's awesome.
It's pretty cool. So, I mean, and hopefully we'll stem from that.
Now, Jody, I think we talked about it once already. Are we doing a ready go, thumbs down, hands down? Or are we doing get your own grip?
Get your own grip. I don't like that ball bullshit because I don't like that, I hate the ref grip, first of all, because when the refs put your thumbs down, they put your fingers here, you don't really feel like you have a lot. You end up slipping anyway, right?
Yeah.
I like to go ahead and, you get your grip, I'll get my grip, and just straighten this up and just say, hey, let's go. But, it's real when you have 2 guys who are not trying to buck the system, so to speak.
Yeah. Talking about arm wars rules?
I don't like the wall rules. I really don't.
How about Arm Wars rules where you have the get your grip, but you also have running fouls?
I don't think we talked about that, honestly. I really don't know. I talked to Ryan. I asked him, it's his event, Ryan Johnson. I said, hey, do you guys do ready goes or what? I mean, how are we doing it? He goes, oh, it's get your grip, but as far as super matches, it's up to the competitors. And that's when I asked Roger, I'm like, well, how do you feel about that? Because I'm really not a fan of, thumbs down, close your hands, go. I'm really not.
Well, and that's only really suited for tournaments. I think if you did the arm war style, where you get your grip and you do your thing, but then you also have the running fouls, kind of entertainment to watch aspect. I think that would be the perfect rule set for a super match.
What do you think, Roger? Because we didn't come halfway across the country just to meet up and go one little bunny hop elbow foul, because all this time we put in, and then we're all meeting here. I'm
definitely down for running fouls all day long.
What's that?
I'm down for that.
Yeah, let's do it, because then it's like, okay, it kind of, with the running foul system, it kind of lets you know, okay, hey man, you better be good because this is what happens. So you kind of get put in check in that sense. But yeah, I don't like the bunny hops and all that kind of stuff, and I really don't.
Picking your elbow up to get a restart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely
you have to talk to your referee for sure, because whatever they're comfortable reffing, they might not be used to reffing running fouls. They're going to stop matches on instinct. So
I agree.
You know your referees for sure. You have to talk to them for real. But,
yeah, we'll find out who's reffing. I might get a hold of it might be Brian Kerner for all I know. I don't know, but I'll get a hold of him or Ryan and say, hey, who's reffing these matches? That way we can kind of, and once I find out who's reffing, Roger, by all means, kind of piggyback on that and let him know, hey, we agreed upon this. Is that okay? That way we're all on the same, page when we get this thing rolling.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I want to say thank you to both of you for coming on here. I don't know if it was awkward, but you guys are friends, so it's probably not as awkward as it would be for 2 strangers giving their predictions of their own match. But, we try to make it as awkward as possible.
Definitely an honor being on. Thank you for having me on.
Hey guys, thank you for being on. Like I said, I had to go get my shirt. It was folded up in my
yeah, buddy.
I gotta go
Thanks,
get that,
dude.
So
yeah, thank you.
But I do know that Roger's a 98% guy. He's gonna be coming on here. I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm a Paul Tillia guy. So I told Paul I'll be rocking one of his shirts down there too. So it's 98% versus Paul Tillia. So it's kind of like, he'll be in Virginia doing the Paul Lynn John Brzezinski match. He'll be in Virginia for that. So he won't be at this.
Yeah.
So
we'll be trolling him live in Virginia.
Well, this was awesome, guys. Thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Anytime, man. Feel free anytime.
Roger, again, I'll get a hold of Ryan and find out who's reffing, and that way I can let them know, hey, Roger and I decided if we can do running fouls, if that's okay. Once I find out who it is, I'll let you know and jump on and say, hey, I talked to Jody. Is okay if we do this? That way, neither one of us is blindsided by that,
All right. And Jody, my advice to you, be fresh. Be fresh.
Oh,
Hey,
That's
I'll
what
be
we wanted. That's what we
fresh.
wanted.
Lucky for me, I don't worry about the bicep because I have a bigger forearm than I do
There you
bicep.
go.
So
There you go.
it's all
Look at
right.
that.
I'm so excited for this match, man. This is gonna be good.
And Roger, I like that. And I got something for you.
Uh-oh.
Control the hand, control the match.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Y'all fellas have a good night.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, man.
Thank y'all.
We'll catch you later.
Take care, guys. Thanks for having me on once again.
Hey, no problem.
Pleasure meeting you.
All right, y'all.